They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
To call Doom a first-person shooter would be doing a disservice to the game's legacy. Doom isn't just a first-person shooter, it's the first-person shooter. It literally sparked a new genre of games and proved to be a huge inspiration in gaming for years to come. So needless to say, with the release of the fourth game in the series, confusingly titled Doom, id Software had a lot to live up to. They already proved themselves competent in rebooting classic shooters with the 2014 release of Wolfenstein: The New Order. But while Wolfenstein was an amazing game, Doom achieved something more than that. Something special. Because not only is Doom 2016 a fantastic game, it's a fantastic Doom game. And that's an important distinction to make. You see, in today's volatile and bottom dollar centric gaming industry, legacy doesn't really mean much to corporations who are willing to pump out a new game from a familiar IP in hopes that the name and nostalgia behind the title will draw in sales, much like Duke Nukem Forever. And rarely do we see them focusing on the attributes that made the original game great in the first place. This is exactly what makes Doom 2016 stand out from the crowd. Quick and brutal combat with a heavy focus on movement, bottomless clip weapons to keep the combat fluid, color-coded keys to get through locked doors, and enough hidden secrets and collectibles to keep you busy for hours combing levels to completion. It's something that can't be described in words or gameplay videos, but really needs to be played to get the full scope of. It's more than a game, it's an experience. It's just a boatload of fun. It's unmistakably Doom. Without question, the best and most recognizable element of Doom is its gameplay. You didn't come here for the story or a nifty crafting mechanic, you came here to play some Doom, and thankfully Doom 2016 delivers. The mechanics are reminiscent of the original game with quick, fast-paced action, however they scrap the super speed and dodging projectile routine in favor of more vertical levels and a play that promotes constant movement rather than dodging specific enemy attacks. It makes sense in 2016 because running around at 30 miles per hour in tight levels would feel sloppy and imprecise, and the wider levels of the original would feel empty and underutilized with modern textures and enemy sprites. The older games could render in a full room of enemies packed shoulder to shoulder, but you can't really do that in 2016 with updated 3D models. It's just not possible. Despite these changes, it still manages to capture the feel of the original game. It doesn't feel like a modern shooter. No chest-high walls to crouch behind and wait for your health to recover while you load that last shell into your shotgun just so you can pop up, fire 2 more shells, and get back down to do it all over again. It's just constant action against wave after wave of demons, and something you don't really see in first-person shooters anymore. Some of the new features added in the game are the glory kill and the chainsaw, both brutal executions that you can perform on any enemy that sends them into showers of gore, ammo, and health orbs, like a meaty piñata. It's a mechanic that keeps you from hiding on the edges of covers and allows for a dynamic up-close and personal approach, making you stay in the action if you want any chance of keeping your health and ammo topped off. It allows you to experiment with your weapons in a way that you wouldn't be able to normally if you were just conserving ammo for your boss fight up ahead. Though at first glance it might not look it, I really think Doom is a retro shooter. At its core, it really just feels older. The type of game you didn't want your mom to see you playing. The type of game you'd have to go down the street to that weird kid Dennis's house to play even though you didn't really like him but his uncle bought it for him for his bat mitzvah. The type of game you could sink constant Saturday nights into with friends and not notice the time slipping past. It's the type of game that doesn't let a story get in the way of a good time. That's not to say that there's no story to be found here though. If you take the time to delve into the many text logs and codecs, you'll find that there's a very well-developed world and story unfolding before you, but none of it's forced on you. No unskippable cutscenes with arbitrary dialogue choices that force you out of the action.
Let me do something in your game!
It's very unobtrusive. You can stop on your path to listen to one of the holograms and read up on a log, or just plow through and keep doing what you're doing. The choice is yours, and it's all there if you want it, but it's completely skippable if you want to just go kick some ass. With that being said, the Doom Marine might be one of my favorite protagonists in any video game over the last 10 years. He has no dialogue or even a voice actor, I don't think, but he gets his point across better than paragraphs of expository dialogue delivered by grizzled white middle-aged protagonists we see in 50% of shooters today. With just his hands, arms, and body language, we can gather all the information we need to know about him to progress further in the story. He's pissed off, he hates the people that got him into the situation, and can care less about anything going on around him that doesn't have to do with killing as many demons as humanly possible. For example, there's a scene in the introduction where a character introduces himself to us through a computer terminal, and just as you're about to get bored with the quest line he's explaining, the Doom Marine grabs the screen with both hands and gives it a hearty shove to the side before continuing on his way. With just the subtleties of hand gestures and body language, we can see the raw contempt and hatred he has for the arrogant UAC, who caused all of this in the first place, only to now run for our help after the demonic invasion hit the fan. There's another scene further on where the robotic overseer of the facility tries to walk you through a delicate process of dismantling several irreplaceable energy condensers. Meanwhile, the Doom Marine briefly overlooks the machine, contemplating the most efficient way to break the thing and ruin his day, whether it be balling up his fist before driving it through the main energy condenser, or simply kicking the thing until it stops working. It's very clear that we're not here to help the facility, we're just here to stop the shit that's going on. I especially love the way the Doom Marine picks up new weapons. It's not just adding them into your inventory or having you press and hold Y with an on-screen prompt. He takes the time to appreciate the only things on the station he shares a common purpose with, and that they're both tools for killing. He tosses them back and forth in his hands, looking them over in methodical detail, as if to determine the most gratuitous and violent way he can better kill demons with the help of his new toy. All this just from a simple camera angle and two arms, but still I find more of a connection and camaraderie with the Doom guy than I do of any of the characters in a Ubisoft game for the last 6 years. Jim Sterling over at the Jimquisition has a wonderful video on this very same effect, in which he goes into much greater detail, and I highly recommend you check it out. However, none of this gameplay would mean anything if the visuals couldn't hold up. Any quick, streamlined, first-person shooter worth its salt has to be able to pull and maintain a buttery smooth frame rate, otherwise all that excellent gameplay would fall flat on its face. Thankfully, Doom succeeds here as well. Even on the Xbox One, I never experienced a single dropped frame. Even with multiple enemies and explosions on screen, the game chugged through in 60 glorious frames a second. With most of id's flagship releases, we see a new engine to accompany them, and Doom's no exception. All of this is made possible by the new id Tech 6 engine, which allows for broke depths of field, HDR bloom, shadow mapping, FXAA, SMAA, TSSAA, anti-aliasing, directional occultation, screen space reflection, chromatic aberration, GPU accelerated particles which are correctly lit and shadowed. Look, all you need to know is the game looks fantastic and stands up to the quick gameplay without a dropped frame or screen tear in sight. I wouldn't say it's the best looking game of the year, but the beautiful hellish stylization and smooth frame rate make up for any lack of monster graphics. Not that you'd have time to appreciate them as you blast your way from level to level. Speaking of, the level design gives off a very worn feel, like all of hell only recently went to shit and you just missed the 1999 party of the year that killed every human on the facility, while hell appears almost timeless in age, existing for who knows how long before humans showed up, like an ever-present force of evil. The levels are laid out in a way that supports the gameplay really well while still looking organic and aesthetically pleasing, with small skirmishes spread throughout and large battles happening in more designed arena-type areas. It allows for eloquent exploration of levels and environments to happen outside of combat, so absolutely nothing can take you away from the action. And if you stop to look around, you'll find some incredibly well done skyboxes and immersive set pieces throughout the game that back up the story and lore quite well. But one thing that instantly grabs the eye is the enemy design. Not only for its striking resemblance to the creatures of the original game, but for their incredibly detailed and well thought out models, even without playing the game. Simply by looking at each demon, you can accurately label how strong it is and what kind of attacks it might throw at you. It's designed at its most basic philosophy. Form dictates function. Simply put, the big dudes with claws want to kill you from up close, while the big dudes with rocket launchers for hands want to kill you from far away. They also show a more sinister side to the demons of hell, with the first enemies being very organic, pure spawns of hell, but as you progress they get a more humanistic touch, symbiotically fusing their brand of demon argent energy with the technology we provided when we came to their world. Monsters fused in an unholy union of flesh and metal. Now I know what you're thinking, who really cares about sound design in a game? Answer, absolutely no one. So imagine how great it has to be for me to devote an entire section of this video to it. No, I mean really, just take a moment here to appreciate how good this game sounds. Everything from the press of a button to the crackling of hellfire to the sound of ripping an imp in half or the click-clack of changing a weapon mod just sounds so satisfying, like the swoosh of a basketball hitting net, or when you're cutting paper and the scissors just kind of slide through without you having to cut. Everything you do down to walking is backed up by an instantly recognizable and masterfully mixed sound that makes the game feel so much more tactile than it already is. The sound design makes the heavy machine gun feel heavy, it makes the plasma rifle feel plasma-y, it makes the BFG feel formidable, and it makes the super shotgun feel like God slamming his car door. Go try this one at home. Play Doom for 10 minutes with the sound off, then 10 minutes with the sound on. Okay, you do that? Now you're starting to get a hint of what I'm on about here. It's not just background white noise, but very much a part of the game, the same way guns and control inputs contribute to the overall game. It's really that good. Playing Doom with the sound off would be like playing Portal without the voice actors. Sure, it's a cool puzzle platformer, but it's the fantastic writing and voice actors that push it over the edge to one of the greatest puzzle games of all time. And all this without even mentioning the masterpiece that is the music in this game. Mick Gordon absolutely outdid himself creating one of the best original scores of this generation. Not only does it pay tribute to the original game with updated reduxes of classic songs from the original, but adds new tracks and a new sound that helps craft the identity of this revitalization. A mix of thrash metal and distortion back up the complete lack of restraint shown in the gameplay. As if to let you know, yeah, you can do that, this is Doom, no one's gonna mind. It's like the game has a beat with everything flowing together like a symphony, crescendos crashing with the cracking of skulls, and bass notes booming to the beat of a disembowelment. The glory kills provide the meters and rests while the rattle of machine gun fire sets the tempo. It's the type of music that your pastor warned you about. The kind of music Mel Gibson plays before clan meetings. The type of music they warn expecting mothers about before playing. It's the type of music that Shia LaBeouf plays while watching his own movies. The type of music Bill Cosby plays in his BDSM sessions. It's the type of music that perfectly sets the stage for the excessive show of force that is Doom. All in all, it's pretty spectacular that this game got made in the first place. It had a really troubled development cycle over many years and nobody really knew what the game was supposed to be. And in a world run by whatever Call of Duty or Candy Crush decides is the new flavor of the year, for a fast-paced, retro-themed, health-based, bottomless clip, token storyless shooter to do well is almost unheard of. But it's almost funny how Doom shows the amount of problems and shortcomings within the AAA industry by demonstrating exactly how to do everything right. No, it's not a perfect game, but that's not the point. Games aren't supposed to be perfect, it's supposed to be fun, and Doom more than anything else is just that. Fun, and we can only hope that more games like this get made in the future. Giving Doom a rating would go against what I believe this game stands for. It wasn't made to get high scores from IGN or be neatly tucked away into the metadata as just another game, because Doom isn't just another game. You can't call it an 8 out of 10 like every Call of Duty ever made. That would imply that this game is not extremely special. So no, I'm not going to rate it. It's going to get a fun out of 5. It's a fun game out of 5. Deal with it. You want my opinion if you should play it? If you're a fan of heavy action, retro shooters, or just want to break from the monotony of the AAA industry with a fun down-to-earth game, then stop what you're doing, pick up a controller, enjoy your life, and play Doom.